without further ado, we got to talk about the real main topic of this week on in pro wrestling in general, and here on the flagship podcast, and that's AEW coming to the decision to release some talent that they've been needing to release for months now. It seems that Malakai Black is officially gone from AEW as he's been removed from the roster page as of February 10th. Black was on the roster as of February 3rd, but was not on February 10th. He had been slotted between Luther and Mark Briscoe. It was reported last month that WWE is interested in bringing Black back to the company. Then PW Insider confirmed that Malakai Black is officially a free agent and his deal with AEW expired on February 9th. Later on February 10th, Ricky Starks was removed from the AEW roster page on its website. This is usually an indication that a star is no longer with the promotion. Fightful Sean Ross Sapp confirmed that Starks is gone from All Elite Wrestling, and he reportedly requested his release previously, like we discussed a couple of weeks back, which was denied by Tony Khan. Starks has been absent from AEW programming since March 2024, expressing confusion about his lack of use by the promotion. Ricky Starks' AEW status was then confirmed by Fightful Sean Ross Sapp and PW Insider, confirming his departure from the promotion. Despite nearly a year-long absence from AEW TV, Starks remained under contract, with Tony Khan reportedly denying his previous release request. This forced Starks to fulfill his contractual obligations, during which he worked independent dates, including Glory Pro Wrestling and House of Glory, but was pulled from GCW appearances along the way. WWE interest had been reported, and many anticipate a move there once his AEW deal expired, and Starks has not yet to comment publicly on the situation. And then just one day later, Ricky Starks shows up on WWE NXT and makes his debut out of nowhere. So, contract tampering much? Finally, Miro was removed from the AEW roster page on its website. PWInsider.com reports that they were told that Miro and AEW mutually agreed on his exit from the promotion. Before February 10th, Miro reportedly requested his release back in September last year after being absent since World's End 2023. It's unclear whether he has interest from WWE. Fightful Select had some additional details on the three and reports that, according to sources, all three are not under non-compete clauses and making them free agents who can sign wherever they wish immediately. Black has been expected to leave All Elite Wrestling since December and has not been on TV. Tony Khan had mentioned a couple of years ago that he had expected to have Black through most of 2027. Miro hasn't competed in AEW since December of 2023 when he defeated Andrade El Idolo at AEW World's End, which ironically enough is both Miro and Andrade's final match in AEW now.
What?
He has been cleared to compete for some time, but asked for his release back in September. Fightful Select notes that the matter had gone quiet for a long time before he was released and had not been mentioned in terms of possible creative in the last 6 months. Nearly everyone in AEW that the outlet spoke to had expected not to see him back in the company. His contract extension that he signed in early 2022 could have kept him there until at least the early portion of 2026. Starks, on the other hand, had also asked to be let go in late 2023, asking the company not to pick up his option that was coming up last spring. However, AEW did just that, pick up his option, and then didn't use him for the duration of the whole time that they extended his contract. His contract would have concluded in a few months' time. So, what do y'all think about AEW finally coming to the decision way too late, but better late than never, I guess, on Malakai Black, Miro, and Ricky Starks? What did you think, Krssi?
Better late than never. I mean, I'm happy. I was really happy to see Ricky Starks. You seen me hit the chat as soon as I seen it. I was like, wait, is that who I think that is? I was like, oh shit, Ricky. And because no one, and I'm happy it was a big secret because again, it was a good secret, and he needs to be there. I wish we would have saw
Wasn't a
Malakai.
good secret because I saw a lot of people complaining about the fact that they didn't use his name, and that's because they did it so fast. They did it just the next day after. They didn't even have him sign a deal. That's why they didn't say his name. So was it perfect? I don't know.
Okay, fair, fine, true, all of the above. All of the above, great. Malakai, which is now Alistair, I'm sure going to be Alistair now. I'm happy that he's back with his wife. I'm sure Zelina is very happy. He's going to probably be on SmackDown. Damn it. Terrible.
I mean, SmackDown in a few months should be going back to decent, I guess.
But okay, for him to feud with The Miz or like, who can he feud over there with? That's my thing. Who's
Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre.
Oh my god!
LA Knight.
I'm sick of
Cody
Damian
Rhodes.
Priest. I don't know about y'all. I'm actually very bored of it. I'm sorry.
I'll be honest with you. Like coming out of the Judgment Day breakup at SummerSlam, and like the crowd reactions he was getting after, I was like, yo, Damian Priest could legitimately be like a strong upper mid card to fringe main event guy on the babyface side. But like it's kind of just like upper mid card now.
Thank you. I'm happy that you finally opened your eyes and saw it.
I like Priest. I always like Priest.
I like Priest, but I'm just
punishing Martinez, but they blew it with that Judgment Day feud.
Yeah. And they just had it going on and on and on and on and on. I'm like, I don't know which one was worse, that one or Liv and Rhea. Like, it's just the whole thing has just been like so godlike. It's just so long. It's like, come on, guys, you could do better. Anywho, it is what it is. I'm happy for them. Miro, on the other hand, now, okay, he's free. Now will be Rusev, I guess. I mean, sure.
Rusev is the one where I'm just like, do you really need to come back?
That's what see. So now you hear. That's why you hear like the way I'm like, sure, great. I mean, I could live with it without it as well. Like, I really wasn't like, oh my god, I need to see Miro. I need to see Rusev. Like, he was good when he was hot, but then that's really it. The bell rang and it was over.
And I'm glad you brought up Damian Priest, because not a lot is talked about with the people that Triple H blew. Like, the people that he got ridiculously over, and then he just didn't capitalize on him. Damian Priest, Chad Gable, like there's a lot of people. Drew we got the news. I didn't even put it in the notes. The news this week that Drew McIntyre, the fan reaction to the idea of him versus Damian Priest, has caused WWE to rethink and reevaluate his plans for WrestleMania. No shit! He's your best heel, your best on the mic, and you're giving him a nothing matchup with the guy he faced 6 months ago?
Yep.
What did you expect the fans to react like?
It's boring. We're bored.
The cracks are showing. The cracks
been showing, friend. At least we seen them. I don't know about anyone else. They got their blinders on. And
to answer this question here from Davion, who says, what's making TK have a change of heart all of a sudden when he could have been let money. These folks go? No, not money. Well, yeah, it's money. Because I gotta let go. I gotta let go of these guys that don't want to be here and bring in some guys that do want to be here.
Yeah,
because we got a big name. We see it in if you see the YouTube, we have it in the headline here of Josh Alexander. There was a rumor back in November of Speedball Mike Bailey, and now most recently Jeff Cobb, after the New Beginning in Osaka, kind of teased that he might be leaving New Japan, and that's caused a lot of fans to speculate about Jeff Cobb coming to AEW. If you're bringing in Cobb, Josh Alexander, and Speedball Mike Bailey, why the fuck do you need guys that you're not going to use and don't want to be here?
That part.
And you also get 3 great workers. and that's what they like in AEW. They like workers.
Sure.
You're gonna work hard. You might not get much TV time, but if you work hard, we're gonna pay you.
No, you work hard. You'll probably be. You can either be great wrestler number 47 on this roster, or you figure out something. You're like Ricochet, who figures out a character that kind of drives forward outside of that. But
it's true though. It's very true.
We got here another super chat donation. You guys are helping us out today. We appreciate that. Chuck Berries, especially. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. He says, you get a release, you get a release, and you get a release. Oh, and before you go, could you please sign this NDA for me on the way out? LOL. Wonder if Ray and Britt is next. I don't think Britt is next.
I don't think Britt.
Yeah, I don't think Britt.
I think Britt stays put just because of the stuff that I've been hearing. I think she stays put. Ray, that's a situation where I think Ray just needs to shut the fuck up for a while, and then probably he'll get his release sooner. And that's where I stand on that. I'm also not believing that
my exact response to someone who told me, "Oh, why wasn't Ray Phoenix a part of these releases?" My exact response was, "Shouldn't be talking shit."
Yep. It's true. It's true. He made such
yeah. So
but that's what we've been saying that for a minute. Like, he made the situation worse. That to the point that again, I don't feel bad for the guy. Like it's gotten to a point where it's like, it's gotten to a point where I really don't feel bad for the guy. But at the same time, I'm like, he's gonna end up in WWE this year anyway. I was like, you just gotta shut the fuck up, stay put, stop posting dumb shit, because it's like where I have a problem with that. It's more so that Ray was like, he told everybody, don't create negativity, but then it's like, bro, you just did the exact opposite of what you told fans not to do when you got caught. When you got caught tampering, like what the fuck? Like he made it worse. And then like he even amplified it when that fool, what's his name, the one that we talked about yesterday, that fake journalist, when he made that report and then Ray basically co-signed on it months ago. It's like, yo, you're just making shit worse, bro, and this is why you're being treated the way that you're being treated. I don't feel bad. And it's like, it's unfortunate because I do like Ray Phoenix, but I'm like, at the same time, you got to be a fucking grown up and realize the shit that you fucked up with, you got to own up to it. Stop playing a fucking victim. Just shut the fuck up, and you'll probably be in WWE soon. Just lay low.
Get out. Yep.
Even though it's gotten to a point, because the way they've been using Penta, it's kind of like, do they really need Ray Phoenix right now too?
No. I mean,
that's unfortunate. Like, that's unfortunate, but I'm like, they're gonna sign him regardless. But my thing is like, by the time he comes to the WWE, I'm like, yo, just make that a feud. Just make Penta versus Phoenix. I probably prefer that.
Do it like Lucha Underground, where they were separated for the longest. Like they never teamed in Lucha Underground.
Yeah, and then you can even have a storyline with that. Like, you left me. You did this and you left me, and you got to the WWE and everybody loves you. You can do some shit like that. But
you left me behind in prison. I was in prison.
Inhumane.
I was under inhumane conditions and my brother wouldn't help me.
Even though I got paid, but that's not the point. Imagine
I got into a whole argument with Jimmy McElroy. I'm like, oh, I feel bad for Ray Phoenix. I'm like, I don't feel bad for this dude. This dude's getting paid 6 figures to sit at home. Like, I would love Jimmy
feels bad. Jimmy only feels bad because it's CK that's doing it. If it was the other way around, he would be. If this was Triple H doing it, he'll be all on board. So and that's why I'm not even buying that. I'm not buying his thing. Oh, I feel bad. I'm not buying that shit, because I was like, bro, if the shoe was the other foot, you would not be saying that. But regards to like the releases, right? Like you said, it's better late than never. It's better late than never. But Malakai, he wasn't resigning. So they just let his contract expired. So, You know, when it comes to that, at least, you know, Malachi did his end, you know, like he left
Malachi's leaving on good terms.
Yeah, you know,
unlike the other two that got released.
You know, unlike the other two, but you know what's crazy? So like for Ricky Starks, right? For a while we were just like, you know, what's going on? We don't know like why TK's treating Ricky Starks like this, right? And for me, I was kind of in the same boat, even though I saw blatantly that AEW talent snitched on him on the reason kind of why. But then like when that report came out yesterday, I was like, damn, like honestly, my mindset has kind of changed on Ricky when it comes to that. And it was just like, it kind of makes sense why he wasn't used.
Yeah, and to tell that part of the report, it was Wrestling Observer newsletter Dave Meltzer. He said part of the reason for Ricky Starks starting in NXT was first he said part of him starting in NXT was Ricky Starks. It's like we got to get our percentages for our investors. 89% of the people at WrestleMania went through NXT or whatever the percentage that they say is. So it's an investor thing. They want to prove that that the NXT is valuable, basically. And then he went on to say that even before AEW, the AEW release of Ricky Starks, WWE had plans in place for Ricky Starks to debut in NXT at a major event later this year, but sped up the process as soon as he was available.
Okay, so he's gonna beat over Femi and be the champ.
No, so he's been talking to WWE when he was still signed to AEW. That's what most people reading that report was just like,
well, his best
so they did contract hamper. Oh, look at that. What a coinky dink.
Yep. That's what I got from it.
Though, guys?
I mean, no. Realistically, honestly, with me, I am not surprised. To me, it's just more confirmation of like, oh, this is why TK didn't use him at all, because he found that shit out, and you know he has to protect his business. You know,
and we do have to take what Meltzer says with a grain of salt, because Meltzer has been proven wrong on some stuff as well. But yeah, I mean that report does make Tony's treatment of him make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, it kind of does.
Yeah, I said it in the chat last night, Krssi. If you and Josh are talking to Wrestle Purists and not telling me, and y'all planning on going to Wrestle Purists at the end of the year without telling me, I'm gonna feel a certain way.
Yeah, it's true. And as a boss, you have every right to feel that way, because it's kind of like, you know, if you're treating somebody good, right? You give them a contract, you give them what they want, right? And then you hear some shit like that. Like you hear one of your employees is trying to go to another company while you have them signed, you know, of course you're going to feel some type of way about that. And I think it's a lot different with like, say, like if with WWE, like, I don't know if WWE's talent has done that recently. Like, hey, let me talk to AEW. I don't think that's the case. But like, imagine if Triple H is in that situation, would Triple H take it to heart?
Yes.
No, I don't think he will take it to like heart, but I think he will teach him a lesson. More so to like TK, I think he takes it more personal, because you know these are things that they, you know, they're in an uphill battle, right? They're like a competition with WWE, so you're trying to keep as much talent as possible. And if you believe in somebody, you really feel like somebody could work out, and you believe in somebody, and then you find out they did some shit like that, of course it's gonna like it's you know, that's gonna hit you, right? And I think with Ricky Starks, there was a good relationship between TK and Ricky Starks, and he probably feels betrayed. And I think that's okay to feel that way. Like, he has every right to feel that way. Now we could go here in business wise, we could say like, oh, you know, it's still fucked up. Like, you know, he kind of, you know, if he just gave him what he wanted, right, he could have just released him sooner, right?
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to be there. But at the same time, I also understand that as a boss, sometimes you're forced to be a boss. And the biggest criticism for TK for a long time was he wasn't being a boss, right? Ever since that whole Punk thing happened, that was the biggest criticism of TK. And now that he was being a boss, it was still a problem. But at the same time, I'm like, you got to. I mean, like, I can't knock him for it. It's like, Motherfuckers, like you said, they were going to reporters, they're going to like all these things, they're leaking shit out. How would he feel? Like, how would you feel about that? It's not a good feeling.
And I 100% agree with this comment here from Vala B. He said Ricky could have just looked at Swerve Dude and just reported it to Tony Khan, kept his push going, and would have increased his value to both companies towards the end of his contract. Like, he played that whole shit wrong. Like, he should have been like, "Yo, WWE tried to holler at me and wanted me to come in there." Because really, if you go back to the end of 2022. That's really the start of Swerve's push when he goes and tells Tony Khan what WWE was trying to do. And he's like, oh, WWE wants you? Let me push you as a top star. Ricky could have got the push he was looking for the whole time if he just would have been honest. If this is true, we got to keep preferencing this. If this is true.
I'm kind of leaning toward that it's true because, again,
allegedly.
Because there's things that I heard. Because there was things that I heard, and then once somebody came out and basically just dimed out Ricky without like zero context in the situation. By the way, that's why I also kind of believe it, because whatever the person was talking about, it had nothing to do with like the Ricky situation. He just like threw it out there, and I was like, oh shit, like damn. So this dude was dirty the whole time. So that's why I knew about it. But again, it's not my place to spew that information out. But because all this is out now, like because he's in WWE, it is what it is. He got what he wanted. He just had to wait a little bit. He got what he wanted. He's in WWE now. Yeah. That's what it is. It is what it is. And in regards to Miro, I mean, if he's going back to WWE, he's gonna have to take a big pay cut because there's no way he's getting paid 7 figures. He was not used for over a year. His value is not the same because of that. So if he was to go back, he would have to take not only a big pay cut, but it's like you're gonna bring him back to push Rusev Day merch again. I don't give a fuck about that. And everybody knows I never gave a fuck about that. I didn't give a shit about Rusev Day. I thought it was dumb as fuck. And it did nothing for him. Like, yeah, it put money in his pocket because of merch. But what did it really do for him? It did nothing for him.
It never pushed him further.
The only thing it did, it made him a fucking cuck because fucking Lashley was making out with his wife every week. So it was like, what is it going to do when he comes back? It's not going to really do much. So it's like, if he goes back to WWE, that's fine. That's what he wants. It's fine. It's like, get your money, bro. You're just not going to get the money that you was getting before. And you think you're, like the creative, you think for whatever reason, you're returning on creative. So, I mean, you think WWE's going to use you much better? Like, it's like
he's not gonna. I don't see him being happy in WWE. I think that he should just try to pursue a Hollywood career at this point.
Yeah, just go to Hollywood and do like stuff like that. Do like reality shows or like do like or become a kick streamer. Who knows?
Yeah, because no one's really looking for you, homeboy. I'm sorry. And now that you're not with CJ no more either, your platform is like.
I think from what I understand, I think she hanging out with Damian.
I got that. Oh no, that was they're just friends. They're just friends.
I was about to say because I'm like
yeah. She came out because she saw people were alluding to that. But Davion brings up, he says, is that report of Phoenix possible release true or speculation? He's talking about the report from Sportskeeda Wrestling's Dr. Chris Featherstone, who wrote, it is said that negotiations are progressing between Tony Khan and Ray Phoenix in negotiations to end his time in All Elite Wrestling. A resolution is expected at some point soon. This comes after Tony Khan was reportedly advised to put an end to the situation. I think that this has to do with basically someone who is now an advisor for Tony Khan, basically advising him, you got to let go of all these people. These people are bringing in a toxic environment into your locker room because they don't want to be here. They're probably complaining about different things to other people. That's why you have multiple reporters in wrestling media that have publicly said they get wrestlers from AEW who call them to complain about, oh, I haven't been pushed. Oh, they're not listening to me. Oh, this and that and the third. And it all starts with the people that don't want to be there. The people like Malakai Black, who did try to get contract tampered back in 2022 when Triple H first got in control and stuff like that. People like Miro who request their release and reject creative ideas. People like Ricky Starks, who is just clear he's just fed up with how he's been booked in AEW and wanted to go to WWE. Like, you got to let these people go, and especially Ray Phoenix, because he's kind of checked all the boxes of these different individuals all in one. Just let him go.
It's true. It's true. And that's why I'm like, yo, Ray Phoenix just needs to shut the fuck up, and he'll get it sooner or later. He just needs to shut up, bro. Like, just keep it quiet. You know, you got to play your cards right. And if he would have played his cards right, none of this would have happened. Like,
none of this would have happened.
None of it would have happened to begin with. If he would have just kept quiet, his contract would have expired, and he would have been WWE right now. like
pretty much. We do have more details on the AEW exits from Dave Meltzer on Tuesday's Wrestling Observer Radio. According to Meltzer, Black's AEW contract expired, but Miro and Ricky Starks were both released. Meltzer also noted that Ray Phoenix has not yet been released. It's unknown why AEW is willing to grant Starks and Miro their releases, and what makes the Phoenix situation different. I'll tell you one thing. Shouldn't have been talking shit. Fightful Select reported earlier that all three talents, Black, Starks, and Miro, are all free agents and not under any non-compete periods as of now. Meltzer on Observer Radio also reported that all three wrestlers are free agents and could appear on WWE TV as soon as possible if they are signed. Meltzer then stated that Miro and AEW had creative differences, stating that Miro never wanted to lose, so he wasn't used on television as a result. Meltzer said he is, quote unquote, certain of his belief that Starks and Black will be WWE bound, and said he expects Miro to return to WWE later on. It was also noted by Dave Meltzer earlier this week that Miro had creative differences with the company before his exit, and he talked about it in the Wrestling Observer newsletter as well, where Miro had referenced his wife CJ Perry multiple times before she eventually joined the company. At one point before that, WWE contacted Perry in early 2022 to return, but both Perry and Miro believed, thanks to a mentor, that they were better off working together. Miro convinced Tony Khan to hire her with a storyline that would be separated, but eventually get back together to revive the pairing they had as Rusev and Lana. Perry then turned on Andrade in storyline at World's End 2023, and both vanished from TV after that. Miro was reportedly injured at the time and went back to Bulgaria for a few months. The Wrestling Observer newsletter notes that Miro and Perry were under the impression, quote unquote, that they would get back together on AEW TV and get a push to the top of the promotion. That, of course, didn't happen. Those close to Miro said that he pitched stories constantly for both of them. However, nothing happened with it, and then Perry was let go from the company in August. Then he made it known later that month that he wanted to leave and had been trying to get released. There was no talk of a return for months after that. And it should also be noted, also in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer notes that both Malakai Black and Miro are expected to join WWE, quote unquote, very soon.
Oh my God.
So yeah, man, that Miro and CJ Perry part is just they thought they were gonna get pushed to the top in this promotion.
I was like, there's levels to this shit, bro.
There's definitely levels to this shit.
And no disrespect to Miro, because I thought
right.
There were some things he did do good in the AEW that I was like, oh shit. Like,
Miro arguably had the greatest TNT title run of all time, God's favorite champion.
Yeah, that was a fun run, and he looked dominant. So like there was moments where it was like, like he looks better than he did in WWE. and even like physically, the way he looks presentable. At the same time, it's like you got to know your place, bro. Like you really think that you're gonna be the face of the company? That was not happening. Like, shit. Even I know that. You know, it's like you just got to know your. Sometimes people got to know their place. Sometimes people got to be humbled, and I don't think he was really humbled about it.
Yeah.
So they just said, "All right, fuck you. You're not gonna be used."
Like, yo, Miro did not want to work with Hangman Adam Page because he had to lose to Page.
That's
and it's just like, but and you see what I mean by that? It's just like, why is there shame to lose to a former world champion?
Because you know, because
but it's Hangman,
right?
It's Hangman. Like, I would love to lose to Hangman. Like, bro, give me a buckshot lariat. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll sell the shit out of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's Hangman. Like, he's not a fucking bum.
And then look at that shit. 1 year after that report came out, who decides that they're going to be the one to feud with Hangman? Swerve Strickland. And I think his career is going a lot better than yours ever did.
He's one of the faces of the company, and he got the bag. He got the bag because of it. Like Swerve got the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah,
he got the push. Not only he got the push, but you know, he's another one. He played his cards right. He got the push and he got the money. So he did. That's why Swerve is a smart businessman.
Yep.
Like, you know, like he knew the fucking assignment.
Davion, who says there's no way said Miro didn't want to lose to Adam freaking Page, SMH. Yo, that was the first report that we got back in 2022 of creative differences between Miro and AEW. Was they pitched him feuding with Hangman Adam Page after he just lost the TNT championship, but he was gonna lose that feud, and he was like, no.
Like, that's so fucking stupid. That's like, bro, what? Like, that was like, you're what the fuck? Like, it's just stupid as fuck. Like, now I understand, like, if you were to say, hey, I don't want to lose to like Willa Yuta, I could understand that. But
I don't want to use the Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I can understand that. But
yeah, like
Adam Page.
Like, there's the things I could understand, but then the fact that the other report was that he didn't want to lose, like he never wanted to lose. I'm like, bro, like, stop, stop.
Go sit your ass over there. Go sit in the corner. I don't want to hear from you right now.